everyone, and welcome back to How We Did It, where we talk about the amazing work we've had the chance to do alongside clients who are accomplishing incredible things through leadership. Today, I have Rebecca Blackwell to talk with me about a company that is doing some really amazing things to create a leadership learning culture as part of their strategy to reduce turnover and retain all that talent that they're going to need for the future. Rebecca, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me, Beth.
So tell me about this company and the business need they had to start really investing in a new leadership program.
This company was a commercial banking organization that had a need to address a large population of their frontline leaders and wanted to use primarily digital content to get to as many of them as they can, and then follow up with some in-person classroom experiences.
So from a development perspective, they had a few things in place, but maybe we're struggling in a few areas. What kind of challenges were they seeing?
They were finding that people would self-enroll into content with big hopes that they would complete as much as they could, and not seeing the participation coming along with it. So they were finding that they needed to be a little bit more prescriptive and to be able to pull people in a little bit more to keep them engaged.
So this company was creating this amazing learning culture where people, they wanted people to get engaged in their learning and development, and it sounded like people wanted to do that, but they were struggling to just get engaged. So how did DDI work with them and use a subscription approach to help them be a little bit more innovative in their learning design?
We had a great time working with this client and learning more about their business context to be able to select the right content for them. And they still wanted that self-engaged part where learners could go in and find the digital content that was right for them. But then they also wanted classroom content where they could go to a virtual session, apply some of those skills, meet their teammates, and stay engaged in that way. So we sat down with them based on their context, selected some of that content, and then planned a rollout strategy that met the learners where they are with time that they could commit, and meeting some of those interests, and created a digital first journey that they could get into the system and then continue working together.
So leaders would get engaged with this digital content first, and then they might attend live sessions. But that's just the content side of it. What else did they do around it that kind of created that environment to encourage people to keep getting engaged and to go back to the learning and explore more?
They used our Pinpoint platform in a very unique way. They were prescriptive with what they wanted their learners to access and paring down the things that they knew would be most impactful for their learners. They brought them to things like discussion planners and knowledge checks and games that they knew that their people would be interested in and were directly related to their learners for that sustainment piece. And then they had a fun little leaderboard, actually, where they would track everybody's usage against it. They could see where their teammates were excelling, where maybe they could do a little bit more, and brought a little bit of gamification into that learning, which was cool to see.
So it sounds like definitely a fun team to work with, and they brought that to the leaders in their organization. What has the feedback and results been like so far?
They have been thrilled with the results. There has been increased engagement from their learners. Even last time that we talked to them, there was a story about someone who historically was one of those that self-enrolled and then didn't participate after the fact. They got them into a classroom session, and the person's feedback was, "Get me into more of these. This was fun. This was great. Love to get to know my peers." So we're excited to continue working with them.
That's fantastic. So they took that self-enrollment environment and really were able to do what they set out to do, of of switching people from, maybe I'll try to engage with that if I have time, to like, give me more. I have the time and the energy. That's so exciting. So what's next for this client as they take the next steps in development for their leaders?
They're looking to expand and meet more of their leaders where they are. So they've started plans to reach 400 learners. They were at 100 for the last year. And starting with digital first, getting people into content. And they're so excited about My Path coming out, where learners will be able to take their self-assessment and then find that content that's personalized for them. They're really excited for the easy lift of it all, to find those needs without the personal conversations that they used to have to do in the past. And along with that, they're excited for the enhancement to their development planning process, where the self-assessment will bring in some key insights.
That's fantastic, Rebecca. Thank you for sharing this story today that really shows how to make development and learning a way of work as they combine, fantastic digital engaging experiences with those live classroom experiences and bring that to more of their leaders. Loved your story. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Beth.